No, Divs, but you are on the podcast. Look what I did. Look, it's Divs. You're here. You're here. So, this today we're gonna be doing um a mini show. Dibs' computer completely went kaput, and we were trying to do everything we could to get it going, but last his PC said, "Nope, I'm done." So he's gonna be in the chat. Today's show is only gonna be about 30 minutes. Unless I'm able to carry it, and I doubt I can because Streamerology is a teamwork thing, and I need Dibs. Um, but Dibs has been actually putting in a lot of work. He actually put in a lot of work before his PC died, and we we were looking at articles and we found a big ordeal that happened between Activision Blizzard and Google or YouTube. Uh, Basically, Activision Blizzard, uh, Google, they decided to sign a contract where your esports, Overwatch, Call of Duty League, etc., will be exclusive on YouTube. So, not Twitch, not Mixer, only on YouTube. Last last episode we were talking about how there was going to be kind of the beginning of things that we possibly could happen about how people would be signing more so or content creators actually trying to do exclusive things on certain episodes or not episodes, sorry, platforms. And kind of like how they're doing networks. And I believe we're actually beginning to see the beginning of it all. We seen it with Ninja and Shroud, and that was a small platform. But now with esports and how much it's taking over, and with all these contracts coming in, these advertisements and so forth, they're starting to not spend their money on advertisements. On the big show there is Super Bowl, they're putting in esports, and now we're seeing Activision Blizzard doing exclusive stuff with YouTube. I think Dibs and I don't know if Dibs and I are just that good at kind of predicting things, or we have some secret powers that you guys don't know about. But like I said, we're gonna see it. So we also with the esports things, 100 Thieves, they opened up their own um kind of, I guess, like warehouse slash studio, like an all in one. And we were also talked about in a previous web show about how again different companies would be coming into the content creators. Well, in there, while everybody else was looking at the warehouse like, oh, this is cool, this is cool, I was looking at everything that was on the walls of the companies that was there. Um, you have Cash App, you had Rocket Mortgage, you had Totino's, and a couple other ones. So they all basically help sponsor get this warehouse built. And inside that warehouse, they have their own, I guess, department for their clothing and apparel. They have their studio. Um, they have their streaming rooms in there. And then they even have their team training rooms as well. So esports in general are actually taking over with everything. Like I said, with I don't know. I'm still I'm curious to see. A lot of people thought that the companies buying out different people would change things, but or not change things. Sorry, that it was kind of done. That everybody had their moment and then it died. But I still think we're actively in it. That Boy Span says there's a big esport Overwatch event coming to Dallas, Texas here called Dallas Fuel. Right. So there's also a couple of companies that are starting to put in these esport gaming rooms ordeal. G Fuel actually came down and there was one that was open inside of a Walmart. So there's it's definitely we're still in the beginning stages of it. So I totally expect to see a lot more things coming through with it. Um, so Dibs went into the article a little bit more with the esports and the signing of the contracts. Um, we both read the same article, but I kind of forgot about it just a little bit. So definitely go to our YouTube streamerology. Uh, bot's not working. I was trying to do a one man thing over here. Not good for me. But he goes in depth about it. Shows you pieces of the article. Gives it to a little bit more. Hello, welcome everybody who came in. Welcome to Streamerology. I would usually be having Dibs in here, uh, but his PC broke. Dibs in chat says, "Hi, Dibs. I told you. I mean, you're still here, man." Dibs says, "Feels like it will lead to more companies dropping exclusivity contracts," and I would have to absolutely agree with that. Like I said, I mean, you're in the early stages of it. For everybody who's just coming in the first time that you're in with Streamerology, you can we do a live recording here on Mixer and Twitch. Afterwards, you can find the VOD here on Mixer, also on Twitch, or we do some kind of cool things over on YouTube. We also drop a lot of different links of things that we're talking about. No, because he's only on the phone, and we tried. There's a couple issues there. Um, yeah, unfortunately, sorry. I trust me. I wish I could have Dibs here. It's kind of hard to carry this. Um, well, I mean the we could try, but I'm worried about where with the podcast going up onto Spotify and iHeart Pitch. No, no, you're totally fine, Dibs. Um, but with all that being said, Dibs and I will we'll do something for you guys coming up in the future. Uh, I guess I could before we go into this web show, we usually have just a generalized topics that we want to touch over, and then we kind of actually just discuss them and see where the conversation leads. So I think Dibs was in Discord. He was joking, but I want to talk about it. PC parts, PC parts, PCs in general. Um, I have built my own. I have helped a couple people buy theirs, build theirs. Um, right now, I'm trying to help someone fix their issue with DDoS attacks. Granted, I'm at the same time with that, I am still learning it, but there is a lot of different things to go into the PC, and there is the um we have the Intel and AMD, and there's a lot of the, I guess as you would call the fanboys with that. And um, so I will say we we're in a new day of age. AMD has definitely started uh, flexing their muscle a little bit, and that is a direct competitor with Intel, and it is now forcing Intel to lower their prices and be able to, I guess, directly compete. Sorry, I'm trying to do my bot and so forth. So, a lot of people will tell you go Intel because AMD, blah blah blah. It's old school news. AMD these days are now actually, if you are a streamer, processor wise, AMD is the route to go because it is able to handle a lot more things at once instead of Intel. And then the if you're only going to be gaming and not streaming, then Intel is the way to go. So now, on the other hand, with streaming, if you're going to be streaming in gaming off of the PC, then graphics card wise, Nvidia would be the route to go because they have a better encoder, and the programs are able to do so. DIBSS says he also thinks as 8K becomes more affordable, and if the internet's actually upgrade, 4K streaming might become in demand. Yes, I still think we're a little bit out from every household having 4K, especially with monitors and so forth. You looking into the past history, it wasn't. It took a while before every household had flat screen TVs. So right, and Dibs also says, oh, Magic and Dibs are in the chat. You can also follow this onto YouTube, or if you're watching the VODs, you can see it there, right below the camera. They're discussing the difference on streaming in 4K and the capacity, and it's basically they're discussing about the having the speeds to be able to do so. Not only do you need the speed to upload, but every household needs to be able to have the speeds to download per se. Mm. Again, we're just constantly talking about the 4K. Uh, so I'm going to tell you guys some secrets that I use to build the PCs. First and foremost, I go to PC Part Picker and I start kind of figuring out what parts I want and just make sure the compatibility is there with each one of them. Yes, there are some good prices there. You can kind of, they have a price graph on there to see the difference on them, of how they've went on sales. But then I go to a subreddit called Build a PC Sells, and there is just a big community of everybody posting deals that they have found. I will find, you can put notifications in there so it will ping you. But if they have something that you're looking for and it goes on sale at a really good price, you can save quite a bit of money there. I currently run a Ryzen 5 2600 with a Radeon 580, 32 gigs of RAM. The Rockstrix B450 board, solid state drive, hard drive, and I think overall with the case, I only spent about $800 on my build, and it should have been over $1,000. Uh, let's see, catching up with chat here. Again, for everyone listening on Spotify um, and iHeart, wherever you find the podcast, um, we do our best to read what's going on in chat because we do record this live as we stand in front of a internet audience. Chat, again, we're talking about DIBSS says, I think it depends on how it looks to. I've seen streams with 1080 and 30 frames per second, and think it's looks a ton better at 720. I would agree. Adric is talking about gaming gaining FTL, which is faster than light, so very, very low latency. Dip says, yes, you got to find the right balance of CPU and GPU. Absolutely correct. Like I said, so if you're streaming, my recommendations based off of everything that I've looked at and researched and where the technology is right now, streaming wise, I would say AMD processor with a NVIDIA graphics card. You are able to um, game off of the PC with a AMD graphics card, but it is you're not going to be able to get the same quite of stability or fluidness of it. So, and then again, if you're just going to be gaming and not streaming, then I would say to do a Intel, possibly I would say an Intel CPU with a Radeon graphics card because you'll be able to save some money that way. And a lot of the AMD graphics cards for at least 1080, let me rephrase that. For 1080 quality gaming, you would go Radeon. Magic says it's interesting because a lot of people ignore timing on RAM, and it's super important when gaming. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. We can make these videos um, discussing all this stuff, and we would be able to talk about it. But the thing is it's going to be different for every single person. Well, what's in your budget, what you're going to be doing with it, and yeah, how you're gonna build it. Because some people can have a crap ton of RAM and so forth, and uh, their PC could be built completely different because they're trying to do a lot of graphics and rendering videos and so forth. But it's not going to be a great gaming PC. So, again, you kind of have to look into what you are going to be doing with it all. Um, I will say, let's see, catch up with chat again. Magic states that with Windows these days it uses more GPU than CPU. That could be correct. Sure, it is. I'm sure actually that's really correct because every single app that I have to turn off uh, the settings to make it run better. So I would say for a good streaming PC price build, um, you're gonna be at the entry start of it. You're going to be pushing about we'll round it up. We're gonna say $1,000 after you get your graphics card, CPU, um, capture card, the RAM, mouse, keyboard, monitors. There in chat, you have our Discord that you guys can follow, and you can ask us questions. The other thing that Dibs and I, as Dibs over here on the screen, I don't know what's wrong with him. He hasn't blinked yet. But we've talked about going and helping streamers out um, with their streams to go through the settings and fine tune and help out, or maybe possibly do an audit on that. If you guys are interested in that, don't totally join our Discord there, and we will make a. Dib says he's just trying to go for the world record of holding his breath and not blinking. GG. Um, but Dibs and I, again, we're talking about going through and helping streamers with their settings and so forth, or go through their audit. If you guys are interested in that, join our Discord. We will go through it. We could possibly do an episode live on Streamerology about it and point out the things that we've noticed, or we can just make a YouTube video with it and post it up so that everybody can kind of go through and watch it. Maybe you're having a similar things, or even with the designs. Um, um, let's see. Hold on, catching up with chat here. Also including the right balance between performance and quality on streaming. Okay, all right. Hook, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if you have anyone that's looking for some help, or even yourself, just join that Discord there. Let's see. I got the bot up. Let me see if the YouTube command works. There you go. So we go over through some like I said, for the people who just started, who's the first time coming in here. I do a lot of graphics. I do apparel stuff. I've worked with different partners on here, different streamers. There's a lot Dib says, for those just joining, his PC died, but he's still here. See? Still smiling, happy as ever. Um, but you can find a lot of the apparel stuff on npclimited.com. That's LIMITD, because we're trying to be cool, trying to be hip. But um, oh, hey, look, that boy Spin. He found a link issue. We also have exclusive Streamerology merch there. You can find some of our partnered streamers that we work with. We're doing more than just slapping a logo on 10,000 variants. Pacific Hook says we should hold a charity stream to get Dibs a new computer. I absolutely 110% agree. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's talk about charity streams. Let's actually talk about charity streams. Hook, that's a um. Let's I will say, just this is input, and guys, in chat, chime in. Let's get your perspectives on this. Soccer Mama says she's wearing the lower the chair shirt right now. Absolutely correct. Correct. If you guys don't know, there is a kind of a running joke with Streamerology about lower the chair. So slide that chair in real close, hit that lever, and lower the chair. The So charity streamers. I'm going to say streamers have a lot of power behind it, and for you youngins out there, um, we used to have this basically what do you call it, TV thon or charity thon, call thon, whatever you want to call it, where they would do a live broadcast, and it was people telethon. There you go. But it was a live broadcast where people would call in and they would get to talk to people, and it was happening live right there on TV, and people were able to make the donations. And now, streamers, content creators, we have the ability to work firsthand with our viewers and community to be able to do so. Um, Sorry, catch up with chat real quick. Soccer Mama says she'll be posting pics later in the Discord. Um, of the shirt, that'd be awesome. Hook, what do you mean every stream? I think I missed something. Dib says internet tech has made it much easier to get started. Absolutely correct. But I think as content creators, we have the ability to do further outreach out there. If you people do not know, A1000 Years, who is a partner streamer here on Mixer, uh, she has actually done quite a bit of charities. Um, Dibs, if you can you pop her link in the chat? Um, for everybody listening on the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or iCast. Dibs, this is the reason why I need Dibs. Dibs knows where to find all of us at. Um, but it is A1000 Years. You can find her exclusive on Mixer. She is one of Mixer's fastest, if not the fastest, growing partner streamers on here, and she uses the her platform to be able to do a lot of different charities. She's done one for suicide awareness. She's done one to get Christmas gifts to kids um, who are in some less than fortunate situations. And she, the community, what they call the Alien Fam, is a awesome community. You can also find Dibs and I there in the chat. Um, I'm kind of hit and miss in there because I work graveyards in real life. But again, it's awesome. I can touch on basis of your communities and um, how it should feel in there. 81,000 years uh, makes it a can't say mandatory, but she aims to make sure that the community is ever welcome. Um, she chooses her mods very carefully. I'm finding my words here. And she talks with them, and again tries to any new person coming in tries to make sure that they are um, welcomed. So it's not fans, it's fam because everybody should feel like a family in there. And I've made a lot of good friends. That's actually how Dibs and I met. So I think this is one of our largest web shows that we have, and that's actually because of years dropping um, her community off to us to speak with them. Dib says years has changed people's lives off stream and in stream. Dib's community aims for that and wants to build a community based off that positivity and goodwill. Same with streamerology, bringing the world together one alien at a time. Right. Um, and for you people listening, there is no puns in that. A1000 Years has a massive theme with UFOs and aliens. Really cool. Spent a lot of work in there with building that up. So guys, I don't know if I can continue to ramble for another 30 minutes or so. Uh, so if you guys have any questions, let's uh let's hear them. Let's see if I can do this by myself. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I need my boy Dibs here. Uh, if you um do want to help out Dibs with his PC, follow his link. Uh, over you can find that in down below the YouTube channel, and he streams on Mixer, mixer.com backslash the DBSS. Magic says, why do I like to have have a blue background? Well, it's actually there's a couple of different reasons why. One of them is I like the color blue. Second one is due to I guess you'd say a little bit of marketing and what the color blue represents. And then for the other people who have just first time joining here, in real life, I work in law enforcement, so it's the thin blue line. Magic also asks, do you think gaming will move to the cloud rather than having hardware? I think that's the aim with xCloud and Stadia. I believe it's something that is really working on. I know Sony is actually using Microsoft's um, cloud network to be able to do the same thing. Um, I think it's a really cool idea. If you guys haven't tried the xCloud or Stadia, I would totally give it a chance. If you're on Xbox, all you have to do is just type in Project xCloud um, into Google or download the app and then sign up for it. It gives you a little bit of time, but then you can test it out. And I was actually genuinely surprised with it. And with Android phones, you can take your Xbox controller, Bluetooth it right into it, and you're set. You're good to go. I think it's a really cool thing, especially if you can, again, like play your games on the go and so forth, wherever else. Because as gamers, well, we like gaming. Div says he thinks it's the future. However, it's still years off. At the same time, I wonder if the aspect of Google plus YouTube owning Stadia was part of the decision when Activision Blizzard signed an exclusivity contract for their esports. That's actually a really good point. What if they're playing the long game on that one? That's actually a really good point. I mean, we last week we were talking about the possibility of Cyberpunk 2077 coming out on the Xbox Game Pass, and the things that we're seeing now that looks like it could very well be a possibility. Um, it says once again all issues with infrastructure and internet speeds. Absolutely, you have to have a pretty good fast internet, and you have the merger with T-Mobile and Sprint, where they're trying to merge together and build a little bit stronger network and so forth. T-Mobile has 5G with it. Um, when it first started out, the only people that were able to do the xCloud gaming thing was T-Mobile. So, yeah, I don't know. You totally need to have the internet speeds, and for a lot of people who don't realize here in the states, with internet, we're actually behind times, with our internet. That boy Spin says Cyberpunk is too powerful for current consoles at the moment. I could see that. I could see that. So, it says, well, the issue is internet companies want businesses and people subscribing to their ISP to pay for those upgrades. Right, right. I mean, we can have an entirely new discussion about with capitalism and politics and stuff like that, but we just want to talk about gaming and things that's going to help streamers out with it. Um, we to follow up with you guys, the video for me swatting our editor, uh, it is being really edited right now. We're just trying to go through and make sure that we are blurring out all sensitive information. We're gonna give you snippets of that so you guys see that it is real, but at the same time, we don't want to leak his info out there for views and stuff. We just want to show you guys how easy it is to get the information and then be able to swat. So that'll be over on our YouTube. Dib says once they pay for those upgrades and we get more fiber optics going around with affordable and competing prices, boom, that's when things get good. Pacific Hook says, so I want viewers, but I am sick of the FBF. Do you think they will be smacked down a bit? FBF. Do you mean the follow for follow? Okay. So to answer that question, Hook, the follow for follow It will always be a thing around anywhere. As far as the channels, doing the networking with the follow for follow, Mixer has came down and added new terms of service that says if your stream is only aimed at follow for follow or spark farming, then you will be removed. The radio stuff will still be there, but people who are lazy and don't know how to make good quality content will always go into channels or create bots and say, "Hey, I'll follow you if you follow me." It's empty followers. It's not good. Um, as soon as we can get the timings correctly, we will have A1000 years in here, and she is a great person to talk to about what it takes to build a community. Um, she has done really good work. I've been with her since the early beginnings of her streaming career. But you'll get my perspective and you'll get her perspective on it. But again, A1000 Years is a great person. We were supposed to have a Twitch partner on our show this week, but some scheduling conflicts with that. This week has been a little rough for us because Dibs, I don't. Hey, Dibs, how are you not blinking still? Curious. Like, you have some like new eye drops or something that we don't know about. But Dibs had some PC issues, and so he's not able to join us here on the mic. For the people listening, all out on Spotify and stuff, um, Dibs and I do this live. He lives in a completely different state, so um, some issues there prevented it from happening. We'd love to be in a single, in a studio or whatnot and be able to do this. Um, Pacific Hook says, I'm assuming he's talking about A1000 Years. Says she's famous, but it feels like he can ask simple yet relevant questions. Huh? Years. It's something that I am personally am always and will always be impressed. She can have anywhere between 100 to 1,000 people in her chat at once, all talking, and she is able to keep track of who's in there, who's been in there, how long they've been in there, what conversation they are having at the current moment, and what the previous conversation was. And I'm impressed with it, to be honest with you. So I don't have those skills. I'm over here trying to catch how many times Dibs is blinking without me looking. For the to kind of follow up with the people on Spotify, the because Dibs cannot actually be here, and we do it live. We record it live from the internet audience. Um, and the way that it's set up, well, I usually capture his stream or his camera and then put it up here. But because he's not here, I decided to take one of his pictures and just upload it so he's still with us. So, um, do the last little bit of questions here, and then we'll let you guys carry on with your day. But again, guys, Mondays 4 p.m. Mountain Time, you can find Streamerology live with the Dibs and Bad Merc. The Dibs aims to create a non-for-profit charity channel to be able to bring awareness to other charities. Also, for anybody who buys the Streamerology merch, 50% of the profits from that is donated to the charity that the Dibs community votes for. This week, or this month, they elected to donate their cut to the Gamers Outreach. So we'll be donating to that one from NPC Limited. That's NPCLIMITD.com. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end it here. Um, I want to appreciate all you guys for coming in and joining us, Dibs and I. I think even though Dibs was not here on camera and on the mic, he was holding his own there in chat. So, but we aim to make good quality content and go into in-depth conversations about things with streamers, content creators. You can find our previous episodes on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcast at. Just type in Streamerology and we will appear on there. We've gone from conversations about companies coming in to advertise with content creators to exclusivity to the games and how you can make your streams more interactive. Um, Also, guys, if you are interested in creating streams that are super interactive, look for Daddy Robot on Twitter. He's got a link there that you can use for if you're a mixer streamer, where your audience can um, interact with your stream there in real time. It's kind of like a little game and you collect points. So it's really cool features. So on Twitter, Daddy Robot. Follow all of our socials. Just type in Streamerology. Google us. Streamerology. Guarantee we'll be all over the front page of Google. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming into our episode 5, our mini one um, for Streamerology. If you guys have any more questions or topics that you want us to discuss, join our Discord. Write us up on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll get to you. And if we have enough of people, we will do a video with helping you guys go over your stream, go look through settings and like graphics and stuff like that. So, again, guys, follow our socials, Streamerology, YouTube, Instagram, and wherever you find your podcast. Again, guys, thank you ever so much for joining in here with the show, asking questions, and keeping the conversations real. We'll see you next Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain.